right? Now, obviously, they're 4-5, so 3 games left in the regular season. They got to win, obviously, 2 more games to get the bowl eligibility. And Dabo has already kind of said, like, okay, hey, we're playing for the seniors, right? The year didn't necessarily go how Clemson wanted. They were supposed to be a top team in the ACC. This is supposed to be the year they won a national championship. There was a lot of talk preseason about this team winning a natty, maybe even going undefeated, this year and winning a national championship. All that's been thrown out the window, right? It just let it spiral out of control after that Georgia Tech loss when they suffered the second loss of the season early, losing to LSU and obviously losing to Tech. It just spiraled out of control. That Syracuse game was really the nail in the coffin for them, and their chances obviously to make playoffs or anything like that. And they struggled against SMU, as well. So team is struggling, or not SMU, I'm sorry, that was Duke. He got 46 points against Duke. My bad, y'all. But team is struggling. Peter Woods and TJ Parker, they have combined for 5 sacks this year. They're not having necessarily the year that they're supposed to be having as well. Kate Klubnik has regressed some, as a quarterback for Clemson this year as well. Adam Randall has been pretty good in the backfield. We know about Sammy Brown on the defensive side of the ball. He leads them in tackles with 67. But it's a different animal in Louisville. But Louisville's already shown, even at home against California with a prolific offense and Jerron Kiwi, Sagabatule, and Jacob De Jesus and Kendrick Raphael, that they're susceptible a little bit. Now, defense played a pretty good game. They did give up that late touchdown to De Jesus, which was a walk-off. But the offense struggled. And I told y'all for years, like, I don't believe in Miller Moss. If Miller Moss was that guy, he wouldn't have lost the USC job, right? So I don't believe in him. And I think for Louisville, you got to keep it simple. You got to run the football, right? Get it to your playmaker, one of them probably the best receivers in college football, and Chris Bell. And you have to lean on that in this game and make it easily and simplified a little bit for Moss. Now, obviously, you got some good backs at Louisville. Louisville, I don't know what they do. Duke Watson, you look at, obviously, I know Isaac Brown, I think he went down with an injury. You got Keywan Brown, who's one of the top rushers here in Atlanta in 2A a few years ago for South Atlanta. Um, Lean on him. I would lean on the running game a little bit if I'm Louisville, in this game, and then let that set up the play action. You got to get Miller Moss in a rhythm. And what I'm saying, in my humble opinion, if you could do that, if you're Louisville, you feel pretty good. What I'm saying? Now, that's easier said than done, but it's a sneaky game, right? Friday night, I don't know what it is in the ACC. It's a freaky night, right? Like, 'cause remember, Louisville beat number 2 Miami at the time on a Friday night. So Louisville's going to have to come out prepared. What I'm saying? It would not surprise me if Clemson came in there and they're just playing for pride at that point, right? They're not playing for anything special. They're not playing for a bowl. They're not playing for, a chance to make a CFP, right? They're playing for pride and for the seniors and things like that. Would not surprise me if Clemson came in there and they was able to beat Louisville, and this is effectively a playoff game for the Cardinals, right? You lose this, you're out, right? You've already seen how disrespected the ACC is, right? We talked about that in my last video. They're not valuing the conference, right? They do have 5 teams ranked. We know Miami, Georgia Tech, Virginia, Louisville, Pittsburgh. But nobody's in the top 12. Nobody's even close to the top 10, which shows you that out of those 5 conference champions, 7 at-large bids, ACC is likely not getting one. You have to win your conference. What I'm saying? They don't value the schedule enough. So big game for Louisville. And you have to win out and hope that even at 10-2 that you can get in. 3 games left, big game between both teams. Louisville should be able to pull this out, but if they sleep on Clemson, Clemson can go there and hit them in the mouth, right? Remember, this team is still filled with NFL level talent. So you play around with it if you want to. You mess around and find out, right? But I think Louisville should get the edge. I think this game is going to be closer than people think. I'm going Louisville, slight edge, 27-24. I think Keywan Brown and their running backs have a good game and able to do what they need to do and pull it out just enough over Clemson. But don't be shocked if Clemson is able to come in here and pull it upset. What I'm saying? Do not be shocked. Remember, there's NFL level talent on this roster. But nonetheless, I'm still rolling with Louisville, 27-24, dub.